These are the 5 best travel credit cards of 2025. Whether you're looking to just make a local trip to the next state or you want to go overseas, these credit cards will help you get there, not only in style, but at a fraction of the cost. And if you're new around here, hi, my name is John of John's Finance Tips. I'm the guy who's had well over 70 plus credit cards so that you don't have to. And this is a channel that we dedicate to talking all things money. In today's money topic is travel credit cards, and more specifically, how you can start using them in your day-to-day lives to start saving big on any upcoming trips. And to give you an idea of the power of savings that a travel credit card can offer you, my very first time ever using credit card points to redeem for a flight was on a $20,000 first class flight. It was absolutely crazy to me. I flew from Boston all the way over to Hong Kong nonstop. However, I didn't shell out 20 grand. All I needed to do was shell out $57 for taxes and fees, and I used 70,000 miles. That was it, and I was able to do that thanks to travel credit cards. So as we go through all the cards today, I'll give you some examples of how you can start redeeming these points that you earn from travel credit cards for max value. And for every single credit card, I'll be sure to talk about the sign-up bonus, the earnings, the benefits, the annual fee, and of course my final verdict and recommendations. If all that sounds good, then pop a squat and tap the thumb icon. And if you would like to check out any of my top and highest offers that I see currently today, you can feel free to check out any of the affiliate links that are in the description box down below, whether for cards I talk about or for any other cards you might be interested in. All right, let's go ahead and get going. Coming in at number 5, we have the American Express Platinum sign-up bonus. This card is a strange one because the sign-up bonus can really vary a lot based on day, based on who you are, based on how you find the link. But the typical range that we see for the sign-up bonus is receiving anywhere from 80 to 100,000 points after you spend $8,000 within 6 months. And occasionally, you could even find an offer for 125,000 points, though that's certainly not the norm. Earnings. You'll earn 5 points for every single dollar that you spend booking flights either directly with an airline or through Amex Travel. You'll also earn 5 points for all prepaid hotels that are booked through Amex Travel, and you'll earn 1 point for every dollar spent everywhere else. Benefits. I will say it up front, this card comes in number 5 because even though it's loaded with benefits, some of them are very specific and very niche and may not be broadly applicable. However, if it does apply to you, you can get a ton of value out of the card. So the first one are all of the credits, which again, I would argue is a bit like a coupon book. If you happen to be a shopper at that particular location with a good coupon book, you're good to go. If you're not though, you're kind of like, well, it's just kind of wasted paper on me. But I'll go through these and you kind of let me know which would apply to you. So here are all the credits that the card offers you every single year. A $240 digital entertainment credit, a $200 Uber credit, a $200 airline fee credit, a $199 clear credit, a $155 Walmart Plus credit, a $120 TSA/global entry credit, and a $100 credit to shop at Saks every year. That was a ton of credits. And the other annoying thing about these credits is the fact that they're actually not just a one and done. Oftentimes they might be a every month or every quarter or every 6 months type of thing. And so you really have to come in here and track it. However, if you can track it, for sure, like you can get some good value from these credits, but you want to be wary of that. Where this card does shine though as a travel credit card is in its travel features. So the first one is this card offers you transfer partners. Remember earlier I mentioned that $20,000 first class flight and I used points? Well, the points that I used were actually earned as Alaska Airlines miles from an Alaska Airlines credit card, and therefore I was able to get much better value. Credit cards like American Express or Chase or Capital One also offer you points that you can then take and transfer to an airline partner and get that type of outsized value. I won't go through every single transfer partner, but one to call out that I think gives pretty good outsized value, though it takes a little bit of work, is ANA. In fact, American Express is the only credit card partner that can transfer to ANA. With ANA, you probably have the best shot at getting some of the best value redemptions to fly business class to Japan. However, the challenge with the ANA program is you have to book a round trip ticket. But how I would recommend people to actually use the ANA program is to book one leg on business and another leg on economy. When I first started out in this game, I would fly to my destination in business because it was all fun. And then when it was time to come home, I was like, okay, well, I'll just sit in the back of the plane in economy. One, it was much easier to do. And two, it also helped conserve miles by a good amount. So here's an example. I was was able to find this round trip booking from New York to Tokyo, where we would fly out on ANA's brand new business class product, and then we would just fly back in economy. This would cost 80,000 points and a little bit over $350 in taxes and fees. If we were to just book even a round trip economy ticket from New York to Japan, that'd be well over $1,000. And so you can see off the rip, this is incredible value. All you need to do is transfer your points from American Express over to ANA and then make that round trip booking. Another benefit the American Express Platinum offers is status with hotels. Specifically, you get gold status with Hilton and Marriott. Europe and Asia, that could get you potentially an upgrade or at least slightly better service. And the last travel benefit I want to touch on is lounge access, which I really think this is where the card shines. So with the American Express Platinum, you get access to 3 types of lounges. The American Express Centurion lounges, which you can find domestically as well as abroad. You also get access to Plaza Premium lounges, and you get access to Priority Pass lounges. And what are airport lounges? Think of them as kind of the VIP section at an airport. We can go kick back, have a drink, have a snack, charge, have Wi-Fi, relax before you get on your flight. And just by way of having American Express Platinum, you get access to these lounges for free. And I would argue the American Express Centurion lounges in the United States are some of the best domestic lounges. Now let's talk about the annual fee. This card does come with a really hefty $695 annual fee. Now, you can offset it with some of the earlier credits, though I certainly wouldn't apply every single credit because not every single credit is applicable. So I would say the credits you could probably apply would be, say, like the Uber credit, the digital entertainment credit, and the Saks credit. So you take out all of those credits, in effect, you're still paying about $150 for the card. But if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, the airline fee credit could be something you further put in here to offset that $150, but for the most part, this card is going to cost you some money. So my final verdict and recommendations. For me, the American Express Platinum is the perfect card for the road warrior, where you're traveling for corporate or you're traveling for pleasure a lot. That's when you're gonna get the most bang for buck. Basically, the more you travel, the more you're gonna get value from this card. The other person this is for is someone who honestly just has a ton of time and wants to come in here and extract value from every single possible credit, assuming you do already intrinsically get value from every single credit. And the third type of person this card is for is someone who's hunting for a high sign-up bonus. Folks, in the points and miles space, it's all about the sign-up bonuses. Spending and earning is great, but at the end of the day, I don't like spending money and you probably don't like spending money. So the best way to get a ton of points, high sign-up bonuses. The American Express Platinum absolutely fills that gap. Coming in at number 4, a card that doesn't get a whole ton of looks, but delivers a really good punch of value, is the Wells Fargo Autograph Journey. Sign-up bonus. You earn 60,000 points after you spend $4,000 within the first 3 months. Earning. And this is where this travel card shines above all the other credit cards we'll talk about. So this card will earn 5x for booking hotel, 4x for booking airfare, 3x on restaurants and all other travel, and 1x everywhere else. I don't know if you quite caught that, but the 5x on hotels and 4x on airfare is incredible because most of the travel credit cards we talk about are only letting you earn elevated for hotel and airfare if you book through their dedicated travel portal, not if you just book anywhere. And that's what really makes this card special. In addition, there is no cap on the earnings from this. Whereas with the American Express Platinum, you'll earn 5x if you book airfare directly, but there's a cap of $500,000 to spend in a year. Now, if you're spending $500K, like that's a ton of money, but regardless, this Wells Fargo credit card absolutely punches above its weight class with no restrictions on the hotel and airfare bookings. This travel credit card, like all the others, are gonna offer you transferable points, which you can move to a hotel or airline. So here's a list of all the transfer partners. Wells Fargo is still building out their partner list. I hope that they're going to start adding some more in, but right now none of these are bad. In fact, some of them are pretty decent. For example, the Flying Blue program. Let's say you want to get from New York over to Paris. Well, you could shell out a little over $3,000 per person, or it would be 64,000 Flying Blue points and about $200 in taxes and fees. And to get the 64,000 Flying Blue points, all you would really need is the sign-up bonus from this card, which is 60,000, plus the minimum spend you'll put on it, which is 4,000, 64,000, you transfer it over to Flying Blue, and you're off to Paris in business class without having had to shell out $3,000. Another benefit of the card is getting a $50 flight credit if you book airfare worth at least $50 using the credit card. And the last one I want to call out is if you pay your cell phone using this card, you'll actually be protected. And so let's say you your cell phone gets damaged. Well, you get covered up to a $1,000 claim with just a $25 deductible. Annual fee. This card comes with a lowly $95 annual fee. Remember, as long as you use that airline credit, which honestly is pretty easy to use, just pay for a flight, in effect, this is a $45 a year card. My verdict and recommendations, I think this card is an absolute sleeper in the travel credit card space. I know a lot of people aren't gonna look at Wells Fargo because of all the drama they've been in, but at the end of the day, this is a credit card from Wells Fargo, not a bank account. I have no reservations about jumping on this card. Not to mention the category earnings, folks. 5x hotels, 4x airfare without having to go through a dedicated travel portal is an absolute game changer. There have been a ton of times where I'm like, okay, I want to get this elevated, but I've got to go through the travel portal and is always cheaper. Maybe sometimes, maybe not. Maybe I need a price match. With the Wells Fargo Autograph Journey, slap the card down, book it, move on. Absolutely, as a mid-tier travel card, I am jumping on this card any given day. Coming in at number 3 for the best travel credit cards of 2025, we have, and this is probably the most unique one on the list, the American Express Hilton Aspire. Sign-up bonus. You will earn 150,000 Hilton points after you spend $6,000 within the first 6 months. Earnings. This card will earn 14x in hotels and resorts if you book via Hilton.com. This card will earn 7x on select travel, 7x on dining, and 3x on all other purchases. And keep in mind, all of these earnings are gonna be in the form of Hilton points. And I know people are thinking, Hilton points, how is that applicable to me? Well, I'm gonna show you how in this benefits section that this is broadly applicable to a lot more people than you think, myself included, even though I'm a diehard Hyatt and Marriott fan. So, benefits. For holding the Hilton Aspire, you will just automatically get Hilton Diamond status. And Hilton's Diamond status is the highest elite level that they will offer. And by having Diamond status, automatically you're gonna be eligible for suite upgrades, access to lounges. Again, especially if you're not in the United States, if you're in Asia or Europe, you're gonna be looked after and you didn't have to spend a single night at a Hilton to do it, you just have a credit card. The card will also offer you a $400 Hilton resort credit every single year. In addition to that, every single year you'll get a free night certificate that you can use at any Hilton property that has standard rooms available. No restrictions, no cap. If we contrast that to some of the other hotel credit cards on the marketplace, it's typically a cap at a certain point value, a certain category. With Hilton, no cap whatsoever. If a standard room is available, you can book it with points. And if you happen to be a heavy spender and you like Hilton, if you spend $30,000 in a year, you'll get another free night certificate. If you spend 60, you'll get another on top of that. But let's just go back to the free one you already get. Let's walk through an example. Let's say you wanted to take one of those over-water vacations into the Maldives. Okay, the Conrad in the Maldives is a Hilton property. For 2 nights, you'd spend a little over $3,600. That's absolutely insane, $1,800 a night. However, this is a standard room, which means you can apply your free night certificate. In addition, the room only costs 130,000 points a night. Remember the sign-up bonus you get from the card is 150,000 points? So you have the sign-up bonus, you have a free night award, all of a sudden you have 2 nights for free in the Maldives at a Hilton property. And if you happen to just have a player too, let's say a spouse who also gets the card at the same time as you or shortly after, you can, in theory, layer together a 4-night consecutive stay off of these cards. Folks, this is absolutely game changer value when it comes to hotel credit cards. And the card does actually even offer a flight benefit, namely in the way of a $200 flight credit. In order to redeem it, you'll get it as a $50 credit every single quarter. And the card comes with a $199 clear credit. So now let's talk about the annual fee. It comes in at a whopping $550. Now, I will say I think the Hilton credit is useful if you're staying at Hilton's and using this card. So you take out that $400 credit. The flight credit I'm more on, only because it takes a little bit more to extract full value from it. So even if you do the $550 minus the $400 Hilton resort credit, you pay $150 a year effectively for the card. If you do manage to maximize the flight credit, that's another $200 you can take off. You could, quote unquote, kind of net $50 back in your pocket for having the card. Though again, that might not be necessarily the case for every single person. So what's my final verdict and recommendations? This is a credit card that if I plan to stay at a nice Hilton property anytime in the next 12 months, I am jumping on yesterday. The automatic diamond status, the free night award, the sign-up bonus. I mean, there is so much value packed into the card, plus the fact that you do have the resort credit that can offset some of the annual fee. this is a card that you should absolutely not sleeping on. And if you have a spouse who's interested in credit cards, they get the card similar time or a month after you, you can put together 4 free nights off of 2 credit cards. I mean, if we just go to the Conrad example, instead of maybe $3,600, maybe it's $7,400 for 4 nights, but you just used your credit cards. I mean, folks, it does get easier than this, but also doesn't get easier than this. This is a card absolutely you do not want to sleep on. Coming in number 2, we have another American Express card, the American Express Gold. This card, similar to the Platinum, will offer you a sign-up bonus that can range anywhere from 60 to 90,000 points, depending on where you find it, and typically the spend requirement will be $6,000 over 6 months. Earnings. This card earns 4x at restaurants globally, with up to a max of $50,000 of spend every single year. This card also earns 4x on all grocery stores within the US, up to $25,000 to spend in a year. This card will earn 3x for flights that you book direct or through Amex Travel, 2x for prepaid hotels, and 1x on all other purchases. Benefits. This card, similar to the Platinum, offers credits, so I say these credits are a little bit more accessible and it's not as much of a coupon book. And as far as credits, this card has a $120 dining credit, a $120 Uber credit that can be used for Uber Eats, a $100 Resi credit, and an $84 credit to Dunkin'. Now, I know if you're not in Boston or the Northeast like me, it might not be as applicable. However, if you are from the Boston area or the Northeast and Dunkin' is your go-to, because come on, well, why wouldn't Dunkin' be your go-to? This right here is speaking to us. And as far as a travel benefit, this card also offers transferable partners, exact same way that the American Express Platinum does. One of my favorites is gonna be ANA as a partner, but let's look at a different example. And by the way that I quickly find award flights, I use this tool called Seats.Aero. It's free to use and you can search up to 60 days of award flights. It's not every program, but it's the majority of them. And if you wanna search the entire, you do have to pay a subscription for it, but I personally think it's 100% worth it. So first I go into Seats.Aero, and the program I wanna take a look at is Air Canada. And I wanna take a look at Air Canada flights from North America over to Asia. It kind of lays it out for me perfectly here. And as you can see, we can use Air Canada points to book a flight from San Francisco to Bangkok. It would cost us 87,500 Air Canada miles, and it ranges but roughly around $100 Canadian or so. This is going to be flying on either Singapore Airlines or EVA. And if we went to Singapore EVA to take a look at what this business class flight would cost, the cash that we would need to spend to fly from San Francisco to Bangkok on either airline would be anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000. Yeah, no thank you. I'll spend 87,000 miles any given day. Annual fee. So this card does come with a $325 annual fee. However, if we layer in the dining credit for $120, the Uber credit for $120, and the Resi credit for $100, in effect, this card kind of could put 15 bucks back into your pocket. The only catch is you do have to remember to use these cards on their regular scheduled cadence. My verdict and recommendation, I think this card is a phenomenal card if you eat food and you travel. The 4x on grocery, 4x on worldwide, love that. And the credits, again, they take a little bit of work, but I think you could really net out positive on this card. And at the end of the day, dining and Uber are pretty straightforward categories to extract value from. And coming in number 1, we actually have a tie of 2 cards. And both of these cards you can actually hold at the same time and they would not overlap. In fact, they would be very complementary. So the first number 1 card that we're gonna talk about is one of my favorites in the more premium category, and that is the Capital One Venture X. The second number 1 card we'll talk about is gonna be one of my favorites for every single person, full stop, and that's the no annual fee Bilt Mastercard. So let's first touch on the Capital One Venture X sign-up bonus. This card earns 75,000 points after you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months. Earnings. This card earns 10x if you book hotel or car rental through the Capital One Travel Portal, 5x if you book airfare through the Capital One Travel Portal, and 2x catch-all everywhere as the base, which if you're not aware, that is absolutely incredible because most cards are earning you 1x or 1.5x as the base, 2x, love that. Benefits. This card offers transfer partners, same that we've seen across all of our other travel credit cards. The program we'll focus on is Virgin. So let's say you want to take a quick flight over to London. You could fly in business class from Boston and you'd pay a little over $3,400 cash. Or if you took your Capital One miles, you transfer them to the Virgin program, you could just spend 30,000 miles and a little over $200 in taxes and fees. And similar to the American Express Platinum, this card also gives you lounge access to some of its dedicated lounges, the Capital One lounges around the country, as well as Priority Pass lounges, both domestically as well as internationally. And the last travel benefit I call out is on the credit side. This card offers a $100 anniversary credit and a $300 travel credit that you can redeem through the Capital One Travel Portal. So that's about $400 worth of total travel credits. Some of the other credits that aren't just unique to this card, but we see oftentimes times are it'll give you a global entry credit or TSA pre-check, expedited VIP entry back into the US, and or through security. So now let's talk about the annual fee of this credit card. This card comes with a $395 annual fee. However, unlike the other credit cards where the credits I said may or may not be applicable, these credits are very easy. A $100 anniversary credit for holding the card and a $300 travel credit. So $395 minus 100 minus 300, what is that? $5. Folks, this is a premium travel credit card that essentially is paying you $5 to hold. I'm jumping on this any given day. If I don't already have it, I'm absolutely getting it. I mean, this is just an absolute no-brainer. You get the card, it puts $5 in your pocket. So my verdict and recommendations. Folks, this is a card I'm getting yesterday. You have it in your pocket. It's basically, in effect, paying you $5. You have a premium travel credit card where you're getting the lounge access, the transfer partners, and as a 2x catch-all base, that's absolutely incredible. Now let's talk about the other #1 card. Instead of paying you $5, this card is still very good from a value perspective because it's free, no annual fee. Sign-up bonus. Right now, the Bilt Mastercard does not have a publicly available sign-up bonus, which is a bit of a bonk. However, a lot of people report getting an email once they open the card where they offer you to earn 5x on all of your spend within the first 5 days, which is very compelling. Earnings. This card earns 3x on dining, 2x on travel, 1x everywhere else, and 1x for paying your rent. And you can earn up to 100,000 points a year on that rent category. All the other points you earn on the other categories are unlimited. And you're probably thinking, well, I can use any credit card to pay rent. I just have to pay a fee. Exactly, you have to pay a fee. What's unique about the Bilt card is the fact that it gets around the fee. Whether it's giving you the account number and routing number so you can pay almost like it's a checking account, or they cut your landlord a check, but no matter what, you get around that credit card fee, so you truly are earning the points instead of these other credit cards. Sure, you use a credit card, but you might pay a 2, 3, 4, 5% fee just to pay rent. Bilt gets around it. It's an absolute no-brainer if you also just happen to be a renter who wants a travel credit card. The only thing you want to keep a note is to get your points every single month, you have to swipe it 5 times. So personally, I don't think that's that hard. Honestly, you can go to the grocery store and just buy 5 things or ask the person to break your transaction up into 5 swipes. Kind of annoying, but again, if you really can't be bothered to swipe it 5 times, so personally, I don't think it's that hard to do every single statement cycle. Benefits. Now this card is absolutely stacked, and for a no annual fee card, it punches beyond its weight class. Truthfully, they could probably tack on an annual fee and it would still be worth it. Please don't get any ideas. Anyway, back to the benefits. So this card offers you transfer partners. Folks, notice how every single travel card I've talked about offers transfer partners, but every single travel card has annual fees in the hundreds of dollars. This card, no annual fee, transfer partners, and it's not just like random transfer partners you'd never use. They're some of the most valuable transfer partners. And I'll show you the list, and you can see on the list here, some of them are repeat, but some of them are pretty unique. Alaska Airlines, remember that was the airline that I used to fly a $20,000 first class flight from Boston to Hong Kong way back in the day. The program has devalued slightly, but it still offers incredible value and nobody else transfers to Alaska Airlines. In fact, here's an example flight that you can take using Alaska Airlines miles. You could take a flight from Chicago over to Tokyo for 75,000 miles and about $19 in taxes and fees, instead of shelling out thousands of dollars to book it direct with Japan Airlines in business class. The other partner that's incredibly valuable that Bilt has is Hyatt. The only other bank that transfers them is Chase. So with Hyatt, they probably offer the most bang for buck when it comes to your points. And let's say you wanted to have a stay over in Maui at the Andaz. Okay, so that nightly rate is about $1,300 or so. Or you could drop 40,000 points a night instead. The card also offers a 25% bonus if you redeem travel through the dedicated Bilt travel portal. In addition, they wanted to make it easy for us to be able to find award flights. So on the Bilt app, you can actually search for flights, let's say that flight from Chicago over to Tokyo, and it will actually search all of the flight award availability. And so then you would know, oh, okay, look, looks like Alaska's available. I can transfer my points from Bilt to Alaska and make the booking without having to use all the different programs I mentioned earlier. This honestly is such a no-brainer, especially if you're just kind of new into the travel space. You don't know where to look. It's built right here for you. Another benefit that comes from Bilt is allowing you to earn points for purchasing a home. Now, mortgages are coming down the pipe, and we already know that because the CEO released it in an open letter earlier this year, basically allowing you to earn points for mortgages. That's coming sometime in 2025. However, as of right now, if you buy a home you will be able to earn 1 Bilt point for every $2 a home purchase value. What that means is if you buy a $1 million house, you're gonna get 500,000 Bilt points. And the way it works is not using your credit card to charge it. No. That's absolutely never gonna happen. All you need to do is go onto your Bilt app and work with a Bilt partnered real estate agent through EXP. As long as you close the deal with them, you are going to earn the points. I mean, that's crazy. It's not like you get the points for the closing costs. It's not like you only earn points for the down payment. You literally earn points on the entire purchase price of a house. And this works up to a 4-family residential. So in the Boston area, that could easily be a $1.2 to $1.5 million purchase, and you're gonna earn 700,000 points. That's crazy. Annual fee, $0. My final verdict and recommendations, folks, this is a card that if you are looking for a no annual fee travel credit card, and honestly one of the best travel cards in the game next to the Capital One Venture X, you needed this card today, if not yesterday. And if you are a renter, that's another bonus. If you own a home in 2025, that's gonna be another bonus. Or if you plan to purchase a home between now and whenever, this is another bonus. I mean, this card is beyond stacked, and I really hope they don't do any major changes anytime soon. And so if you'd like to go ahead and check out this card or any other cards we mentioned, remember, in the description box down below, I have some high elevated offers for you to check out. And again, if you have any comments, questions, drop them down there as well. Otherwise, this has been a phenomenal video, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace!